framing of it. Klaus, if I could ask you to chime in, and I know you and Dan have worked on this together. Mariana frames it around government policy. What about internally within the corporation? You briefly mentioned this at the beginning, the metrics. Where do you see the place of metrics measuring commitment to stakeholders within corporations, public disclosure around those metrics?
Now, first, I want to express my appreciation for Dan. You are really a role model for stakeholder capitalism. But let me come back to something which is fundamental. I think we have two different levels here. We have what has to happen inside a society where the government plays a key role in terms of taxes, avoidance of taxation, and so on. And then we have in specific inside the society, we have the role of the enterprise. And let's not forget the enterprise, the corporation, is the wealth creator. And many of the issues which were mentioned, like poverty and so on, can be solved if we have enough and fair wealth creation. It's companies which drive innovation. It's companies who, in a competitive way, drive the fourth industrial revolution, drive social benefits, and so on. Now, the problem which we have is when we talk about capital, we think of financial capital. But actually, what you need for wealth creation is not just financial capital. It's human capital, it's social capital, it's natural capital. So we need to embrace a much larger definition of capital, and all those capitals create in a shared way wealth, and indirectly or directly for a country prosperity. So we coming back to the essence of your question, we still measure only how a company uses the financial capital, whether it's really efficient in terms of allocation of financial capital. But we should measure also how a company, in which way a company uses natural capital, people, planet, in a most responsible way. So that's the essence of stakeholder capitalism. And here, of course, the metrics are important, because otherwise we stay with, every company has now a purpose, but we have to measure how the company moves really forward in fulfilling this broader purpose, going beyond just serving shareholders.
And how do you take that purpose, those metrics, those commitments, far enough to, back to the concerns Angelique was raising, particularly in Africa, but in, many places around the world, where, the amazing things that Dan is doing at PayPal and many other, companies that have joined in this movement are doing, but there's so far to go. How does that reset? How does the reset that's supported by stakeholder capitalism get to the poorest of the poor?
No, I'll give you just an example related to what Angelique said. Corruption. If you are really forced in your reporting to indicate every dollar you paid for non-directly let's say, corporate-related issues, and you have afterwards on a government level the necessary penalty system, and let's say you really hold companies accountable if they deviate from good behavior. I mean, it's a dream, but we can make this dream, and companies like Dan provides a good example. We can go into this direction of making stakeholder capitalism the core of our economic system.
A moonshot, as I think Mariana would put it.
Yeah. And
but I don't think we can have stakeholder capitalism if we continue, Klaus, to say that wealth creation is just in business. I think the whole point of stakeholder capitalism is to actually admit that wealth is collectively created. You know, everything that makes our iPhone smart and not stupid happened not just through government, you know, taxation in the background. It was actually government investment in the internet, GPS, touchscreen, Siri. And then, you know, the private sector did magnificent things with them, but we have to stop talking about wealth creation as just business. Sorry.
Mariana, if you take stakeholders, governments is an important, crucial stakeholder in this context.
But not just for taxation. Sorry, that was my point. It's also investment.
What I agree with you, it's shared wealth creation.